Good. How are you?
I'm good. I've been seeing you pretty active on LinkedIn lately, like resharing all of like our Series B announcements and things like that. So,
I thought I got a cut of that if I did that.
yeah. I'm sorry?
Don't I get a piece of the action if I do that? I mean, come on, 13 million goes a long way. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll talk to the higher ups and see what I can do.
Pass that on.
We'll see what we can get going. But how's life been for you lately? How's production going?
Well, that's almost non-existent. But I got my new website up, which is cool.
You did. That's so exciting.
So Luxury Presence did an amazing job. So I'm really glad we have a partnership with them.
Oh my goodness! Wait, did you post about it on LinkedIn?
I think so.
Here, let me go check and see if I can go see it right now.
They told me I was the first one to do it with Radius, so.
Oh, that's awesome. Just give Katie 1 second. She is going to be going through batch creation and batch content for social media. So just going to give a little bit of an intro while she finishes up something time sensitive really quick. But basically, in a nutshell, content batching is really one of the most effective ways to create social media content because it really ends up saving you guys a lot of time in the long run. And I know that for agents, that tends to be always the best way to go forward with it. Anything that can be more time effective, something that will, you can do short term, you can get a lot of work done that will help you save time in the long run is always a good strategy. And so basically in this session, Katie's going to be breaking down, I think about like 7 or 8 different ways that batch content for social media can really be used effectively. And we can kind of relate it back to the real estate industry and maybe talk a little bit more about that and see if you guys have any questions, have any comments, concerns, challenges that you guys may be facing on your end that you'd like to talk through. And so, I'm sorry?
Turn them off and speak. You got to turn them off.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Then,
Yes.
I'm coming right now. Sorry. We had a little emergency I needed to work on really fast.
Absolutely. No worries, Katie. No worries. Chad, I'm taking a look at your website right now, and it looks fantastic.
It actually looks like I might know what I'm doing.
You absolutely know what you're doing. And this website, it just, right off the bat too, the gorgeous hero image of this beach house property looks phenomenal.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, anyone that's looking to do a website, it's a bit of an investment, but it's not nearly what it could have been without our partnership. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that has a ton of value.
Absolutely. This looks amazing. I'll let you know if I relocate to the, is this the Venice area?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll let you know if I relocate to the Venice area and have you join forces with me, and you can be my realtor.
There you go.
Oh, here.
I'll take whatever I can get.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm gonna try to go ahead and get started.
Sounds good, Katie. Welcome, Melissa. How are you doing today? You may have missed my little introduction speech, so I'll just cover it again really quick. So Katie's going to be talking about social media batch creation today. It's a really effective tool for a lot of content creators and applied to the real estate industry as well and new agents. It's one of the most effective ways to create social media content, helps you save time, post consistently, and really repurpose your ideas in a way that will once again be the most time effective for you, which I know that all real estate agents really love. And so I will let Katie take the floor, and she's going to go and cover more on this topic. So let her know if you have any questions, and feel free to jump in with any challenges you may have seen when creating content and whatnot. So Katie, take it away.
Okay. So like Ela said, content batching is a way to productively create content so that you're not having to just kind of always fly by the seat of your pants. When doing social media, it is helpful to kind of create blocks. So you're doing kind of all of the same thing at one time. There's a lot of different ways people do this. So I'm just going to go over like some ideas, and like you can tweak it or make it work for your schedule and your needs depending on what you're doing. So like for example, instead of spending an hour planning, creating and publishing, you could spend an hour just completely doing photos or writing or one facet of kind of the content creation process. This is helpful because when, I don't know, I feel like if I'm in one mindset, it's easier for me to kind of get one thing done, whether it's creative work or more administrative things. It's kind of like time blocking, but content batching just for social media. So I have some steps here to talk about. Step one for content batching is identifying your content pillars. So obviously, loosely, one of your overall umbrella is you're an agent and your customers are potential clients and leads. And under that, you'll want to develop content pillars. So like 3 to 5 topics you consistently discuss and create content for on social media. So some of those content concepts, like we've talked about other times, might be good to think about. So like, just listed, maybe you also talk about local events frequently. Maybe you do client stories often. Go ahead and identify those pillars, those categories of things you're going to talk about. And then those will kind of help you like write those down in categories and kind of think of those as just like your pillars. They will help you also if you need like a last minute idea, you can just be like, okay, what falls in these pillars? And then the next step is and this is kind of like you're always going to want to do this. Analyze your posts. You're going to want to look at your analytics in the back end of your social media and see which content your audience is engaging with the most. So again, you just want to kind of look at when that content was posted, what type of content it was, what kind of call to action you used, what format was it, like was it a graphic or a video or those kinds of things, and start to look for trends of what's working well and what isn't to help plan better. And then you kind of pinpoint like where you're going with content batching. And then you'll want to brainstorm new ideas. We've talked about all that kind of stuff with like figuring out what concepts you want to use. There are tons of options. I have some that I've given to you guys. And then also like, if you haven't used ChatGPT, it's a great resource for like AI is very helpful in coming up with ideas for things. So you could ask it for like, give me 30 days of content for, a real estate agent in California or whatever, and just get yourself a list of ideas. So, like now, once you kind of know what kind of content you're going to plan based on, like creating a content calendar, there's a video in our archives, our rooms. What do we call that, Ela? Like the rooms library of where I talked about creating a content calendar. Yeah.
Sorry, it was the rooms content inventory.
Yeah. So that exists where I've already kind of talked about building a calendar, and that will help that first part of what I'm talking about here. And then once you know what you're creating, you'll start figuring out how to batch it. So you could, like, in one batch, like let's say one day or one couple hours block, you could write all your captions for the month. And you can, kind of go through the captions piece by piece and write what your messaging is, what the goal is, what your call to action is at the end. So like what you're planning to ask your audience to do, click your link in bio or send you a message, comment their thoughts, save it for later, whatever your call to action is, you can do all your captions at once. And then you can, outside of captions, the next thing you could do is batch your photos. Like if you're using photos for a lot of your posts instead of videos, you could sort, like if you use stock photos, if you use your own photos, kind of like just sourcing all your photos at one time. So looking at everything you need, writing down what kind of photos you need for all the posts you have planned, and then just like getting them all together. That's one batch. And then if you do any video, another kind of batch you can do is filming and editing any videos or collecting stock video, whatever it is that you're doing. So another content batch can be filming and editing videos. If you do reels or TikToks or YouTube shorts or anything like that, that is when you would do all of that at the same time.
Katie, I want to go back to the caption writing portion really quick too, because I feel like that is one of the biggest areas where I feel like agents are like, oh, well, how much time and effort needs to go into caption writing? How do I figure out what my tone of voice is? And how do I figure out, like where I need to stay on the side of brevity and where I kind of need to expand on. Excuse me, hold on. Excuse me. Thank you. And I think one of those things, especially when it comes to caption writing, is to really make sure that when you're delivering that hook, that it's something that people really respond to, whether it's an invitation to see an open house. What is something about the open house that will really capture people's attention, whether it's in a great area or whether there's a part of or a feature of the house that would be a really great selling point for a lot of potential buyers. Things like that, where you really want to think about each individual listing as something that has a unique feature or something like that to offer is going to be really important. And so when you're applying that to batch creation, you can think of, a few different key points of what you see across your general listings, or what some features that you can see in your state or region that you can reuse. Another thing that you can also do is add little blockers and kind of almost like placeholders for those features or things like that. So, when you're about to go and post it, oh, I just need to insert this little small detail because the rest of my caption is already built out. Even just using batch creation in little ways like that is going to still save you a lot of time and effort in the long run. And that's still going to be really, really important. And so, I just wanted to make a call out to that really quick, as well as, making sure you're using fun different emojis, and you can add different line breaks and things like that. But that first, I want to say it's like the first 180 to 200 characters is it 360, Katie? It's like either 180 to 360 that people see in Instagram before it hits the more button. You want to make sure that is really your, no pun intended, your prime real estate for what you're trying to say to hook your audience.
Yeah. And so that they want to click to see more, for sure. Yes. I mean, Ela said that perfectly. Does anybody have any questions yet?
Anything that we can kind of talk through? I know Tiffany is also on the call right now, and Tiffany is also really interested and also very good at marketing, social media. So I want to see if you guys have any questions or any challenges right now that we can kind of talk through just at this point, based on anything that we've said so far. We really want to make sure that we're addressing any of your concerns or seeing if there's anything that needs to be talked through or built out. Daniela, what does your social media look like as of right now? Are you seeing a lot of good engagement, good content? What does that look like for you?
I don't know if you can hear me now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm just posting like reels of information for, like I just did a reel yesterday, like on foreclosures and like the upcoming market and stuff. I kind of just have to get better at posting more content because people do look. I have a lot of friends that are in real estate as well, like all over the country. And their videos are really nice. Just kind of posting more content. I'm gonna, after this, I kind of just like persistence. Like you guys said, I'm kind of, after this, I'm gonna do some email door knocking where I go by myself sometimes. So I don't always knock on every door just because I do get nervous. So I drop off a flyer, my business card. That's kind of what I've been doing.
Absolutely. And I think something, especially since you're talking about posting more content, I think having batch creation and utilizing that strategy is going to be really effective for you. So you could just maybe take a few hours or like block off a chunk of time and just film content, film different types of B-roll for different videos that you'd want to do. I know that there's been a lot of different updates and things like that with the NAR lawsuit. And so there's a lot of changes that are happening in the real estate industry right now. And so making sure that you just film a few different videos at one time can really help you and save time in the long run. So then even on days where you might be a little bit busier, you'll still have content that you can keep pushing out regardless. So I think that could be a really effective tool.
Yeah. Also, making sure
I'm using this app. It's called Mighty, and it gives you.
Oh, is there a delay?
It's like choppy, so I'm not hearing everything.
Oh, sorry about that. Your network might be a little bit off. We can still see and hear you and everything like that. So.
Okay. A little bit choppy earlier.
Yeah, just a little bit. It might be your network, but still let us know if you have any questions. Katie, I'm sorry to interrupt there, but please continue.
Oh, it's okay. Me? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. No, I was just gonna say it helps sometimes to like set a recurring day and time, so that like for batching, so that it's always like on your calendar. Like every Monday morning, I create content, or and this goes for really lots of things in your job. Like, I'm only going to do this thing in this amount of time, and it really does help.
Yeah, having like a schedule down, having it just be a little bit more organized, so it's kind of a little bit more consistent.
Yeah, it does for me. Like even like from emails to, all kinds of things outside of content creation. Like it's just really helpful to like block things off like that.
I agree.
What else? So there's more. Like you can also, I've talked about this kind of in other rooms about like content calendars and things, but like it helps to not start small, like don't overwhelm yourself, like, Ela said you're already like doing social and like you probably know all this, but it helps to like set smaller goals, and then you're not feeling like, oh my God, why did I decide I was going to do this much content and now I don't have time to batch it or make it. So don't go too crazy. Try to focus on one platform at a time. Like don't make it harder than it needs to be. Let's see. Do you guys have any other questions? That's like pretty much like most of the information I have on batching content. Specifically, let's see. Yeah, if nobody has any more questions, Ela, do you have anything else?
No, I don't. Is there any other tips or anything like that you have to walk through, or?
Me?
Yeah.
Do you talk about recycling content? I know we were on a call a couple weeks ago. That's not really something I had thought about before. But if you have good content, when's the right time maybe to reuse it? Because I think that's great. If you're kind of in a pinch, just go grab something that you had before, maybe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anything evergreen. I mean, I would go back, obviously, depending on how much content you post. Like, if it's not within, like, a couple scrolls, I would say go for it, recycle it. Anything evergreen that's not, like, related to something seasonal or something that, isn't relevant anymore, absolutely throw that on the calendar and reshare it. I mean, yeah, it's there's not like a hard fast rule, but anything that works at any time, like especially like tips or client testimonials or things like that, definitely reshare those things. Like people aren't scrolling very far back on your feed typically, so you're safe to do that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions? I know we have about 5-6 minutes left. I really want to make sure that we address any questions or any challenges that you guys might be having, because I've seen a lot of really great content out there, and I think some of the best examples is really just having that consistency. So that I think utilizing batch creation is going to be one of those things that can be really effective in pushing out that consistent content.
Yes.
And have you guys seen Katie created like a template for a potential social media calendar that an agent could utilize? Have you guys gotten access to that? I can send out another run of that as well.
Chad might have it, but I need to more.
I think something like that's always great to share with a larger group, because the more we do it as Radius, the better for all of us.
Fully agree.
Absolutely. Well, I'll send out another copy to everyone that attended this call today. So you guys will have that and can use that as a resource, because it definitely will give you some good ideas and also help you kind of plan and schedule that social media calendar for yourselves as you're batch creating, and you can start to plan ahead because the two go hand in hand. So perfect.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else right now around batch creating specifically, but if you guys have any questions about anything else next couple minutes, feel free.
Katie, what is your process of batch creating kind of look like? I know you went through the steps of like what that looks like, but for you as kind of our Radius social media manager, what does that process look like for you, and how do you identify different pieces of content that need to go out, and how do you manage all of that?
Well, it's a little different for me in a corporate environment than it was for me as an entrepreneur. So when I was like running my own show, kind of like you guys are doing, it would be more like on Mondays, I film everything that I want to produce because I was a content creator professionally. So videos, photos, whatever needs to happen in that way. Like that would be like Monday. And then Tuesday, I would edit everything or put graphics on top of it or whatever I needed to do to get it like ready for posting between photos and videos. And then, depending on how long this took, it could either be a half day or a whole day, depending on what I had going on. And then like another day or half day would be writing all the copy or captions for everything I need. And then I usually would reserve, one day of the week for like just non-creative things like admin stuff and emails and, all of that kind of stuff, organizing, and that kind of thing. And then hypothetically, if you use like a scheduler or something like that, you could also spend some chunk of time just uploading everything into your scheduler and getting it sorted out as far as like on a weekly basis. And then there are things you might want to like monthly stuff, just like put it on your calendar, give yourself a schedule. And it's really a lot easier that way, especially when you work for yourself and you might be flailing sometimes for structure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Katie. Does anyone else have any last minute questions before we conclude today's session? No? All right. Okay. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. I will be sending out the copy of the real estate calendar to everyone that attended today, just in case you don't already have it. And I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll see you again next time.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you guys so